Cassius Clay on the move as we see, looking to get Sonny to lunge, carrying his left hand dangerously low. Note that the champion, Liston, the aggressive man, a good heavy shot dug under the heart. Sonny has to set the pace. That's the way it looks at the outset. Cassius, awkwardly fast. Good long left lead that might keep the champion a bit off balance. Very slippery. Clay still in the danger zone in that he's keeping his hands low, but you'll notice one thing if you don't mind. He's at long range with the hands low. We're halfway through round one. In close range, if we look closely, although Barney Felix does want them apart at this point because the hands were tied, Sonny will be the guy that'll keep mauling away. 1 minute more in the first round. Sonny seems to be trying to slip those left leads. Can't do it too successfully because the challenger is jabbing all over. Body, head, and right hand. The best punch in the fight so far. We're down to the closing second of this first round, and the long left lead is making the difference so far by Mr. Clay.
The first round, Liston chases him confidently. He's going to knock him out. Kid is moving, popping a jab, but every once in a while he stops and throws a right hand that rips up cuts under this guy. When Liston starts to get all these bumps and bruises and starts to feel the pain, because Liston later said to me, he'd say, this guy can't punch. He can punch like hell.
Joe referred to overconfidence. This can happen. Sonny is actually not headhunting at this point. He's content to rip toward the body, trying to bring the guard down and then go upstairs. You know, when the body goes, the head follows. Watch out. But this youngster has his own style, and it's confusing for the champion to fathom this early in the fight, at least up to now. Halfway through this second round. Inside, if you watch closely, the champion is clubbing away, and then, of course, the challenger has to move him away. Less than 1 minute more in the second round. With 30 seconds to go in the second round, Liston wants to pump that jab to set up his other punches. He wants to use it as a left lead, a lead to other shots if he can get this kid to stand still and then rip the body. Ten seconds more in the second round. The crowd's going to roar in a few more seconds, that's for sure. Another jarring right hand that time, folks. Another one. Sonny wobbled. Sonny wobbled. Cassius has him hurt. Sonny is talking to Sonny has a big mouth below his left eye. He has a cut below the eye, and he's getting hit with all the punches in the book. Folks, we're halfway through round three. Sonny bleeding slightly from the nose also. Only 55 seconds remaining in round three. Hold the bone. Cassius is a bit hurt. Sonny, still aggressive, very durable. Seven or 8 seconds more in the third.
All right, so after 3 rounds, we're getting a pretty good idea, but both of you guys were there at that fight. Jerry, let me start with you. At what point did you start to think, hey, look, Clay is going to be the heavyweight champion?
End of the third round. And I'll tell you why. I'm not pinning medals on myself. He was hitting him with combinations. He wasn't hitting with one punch, he was hitting with combinations. And Sonny had sort of lost his bearings for a few beeps. And that's what made that fight. Sonny went into that fight, like everybody else in America, saying, this guy's going to punch with a feather duster. He can't hurt me. He can't hit me. And he threw so many combinations in that round, I said he's going to win the fight.
What do you think, Bert?
I had an inkling as early as the second round, and the reason was I thought he was going to blow him out in 10 seconds, meaning Liston. When he came to his corner at the end of the first round, Clay, it was a revelation. Remember, Liston in his last 3 fights, and he only had 3 rounds in 3 years. Albert Westphal, who is better known as Albert Muskfall, and Patterson. I thought he has a great chance of winning because Liston can't hit him. He's reaching. That left jab, which could knock down, as Jerry says, Barnes, wasn't anywhere near him. He couldn't get a cab and get to him. I said he had a hell of a chance.
I mean, that's one of my questions. In that, for all the things about Liston, feared Ali or Clay because he was crazy and all this, but to me, it doesn't matter, Jerry. If the guy can't move his head and get out of the way, I mean, he couldn't get touched by Liston early in that fight.
And he really, I think Liston was confused. How am I going to hit him? How am I going to hit him? Because he took it for granted that he would take him out early, as Bert says. And beyond that, when Ali started throwing combinations, that changed everything. I can't think of anybody who threw that many punches at Sonny that early.
No, and hitting him. And even, I don't know if he staggered him, as the announcer says, but he certainly stopped him in his tracks. And that was a revelation.
Right.
He also did the worst thing that can ever happen to a fighter. He made him think. and I think Liston helped think himself out.
And also, he has cut Liston under the eye. Now, as Jerry and I were talking before, this has no effect on the fight, but psychologically.
Yeah, the blood can run down here all night, doesn't mean a thing. If it's here, you're in trouble. But psychologically, the guy was cut, the guy was peppered with punches, and the guy couldn't, as fighters say, he couldn't get off.
And I'm not sure he wasn't tired, because I don't think he took him seriously and trained hard.
I agree with that entirely.
And he couldn't hit him. I mean, that's the bottom line. You're going to get exhausted. You can't touch the guy.
Mr. Guy's going to hurt. Mr. Guy's going to hurt you more than hitting him.
With our overhead camera, or with our creepy peepee camera, right in tight, we're going into Sonny's corner. Joe, I don't know whether you can see it. Look closely, look hard. They're working on the cut below the left eye. It's very difficult to get a shot, but what do you think Sonny's condition, as Joe Polino works on the cut, would be right now?
Well, Steve, that round looked bad for Sonny, especially when he was putting all that flurries on Sonny, but I think the last minute of the round, I think Sonny looked pretty good.
One pointed question with regard to the other fella called Cassius Clay, now that we get set for round 4. Do you think Cassius tired a bit, or what happened a bit toward that last minute of the round?
That's hard to say. But Sonny did, but Clay did talk to Sonny.
I'd like to point out the champion is strong, durable, takes the good shot. However, he is being outmaneuvered at most points because this fella has that awkwardly fast style of going side to side, moving the upper part of his body. Minute 25 seconds to go in the 4th round. Sonny has some puffiness below his right eye now. Less than a minute to go in this fourth round. Ooh! The Liston hook started out as a jab, turned it short to a good hook. Half minute more in round number 4. Fast round.
All right, so Cassius Clay in trouble, blinded by something, having trouble with his eyes. Jerry, from your vantage point, what did you see?
Yeah, I didn't realize. Much later, Joe Polino, the cut man, told me. He told several people years and years later that was Moncel, which is a coagulant to stop bleeding, was put on Sonny's gloves. And as the round went on, as he hit him, it got near the eye area, and that could blind you, really. So it was a legitimate complaint, but looking at it, I said, what the hell is he doing now?
You had no idea.
Right.
All you knew there was commotion going on. Point of fact, 2 other fighters in earlier Liston fights, Zora Foley and Eddie Machen, had complained of burning eyes, too.
Well, it was the same corner all along, Willie Reddish and Joe Polino. And the other thing about that, which I thought was fascinating, was that the Muslims, the Nation of Islam guys at ringside, accused Angelo, when Angelo was wiping his face, of throwing the fight, of having Moncel or something in the sponge, and he was putting it in Ali's eye.
But you could see him wiping his eyes.
To prove it that he didn't, he turned around and he took the sponge and he put it in his eye here and here and said, "Look, guys, it ain't me."
Also, what you had was Clay is holding out his hand saying, "Take the gloves off. Take the gloves off."
Because his eyes are burning. You want to get your hands to your eyes.
No, he didn't want to fight.
Well,
he didn't know the extent. All he knew was his eyes were on fire. He wasn't quitting. He wasn't a quitter. It's just that he didn't know what was wrong. He said, "Cut the gloves off."
He at one point got up to go to the referee. Angelo Dundee again now pulls him back, because at that point a referee could come over, especially given the whole circumstances. Could have just said, "This is over."
The referee, Barney Felix, had already come to the corner and said everything okay.
Right.
He has now retreated back to his position.
Dundee has kind of brushed him off.
Yeah. Well, Dundee has sort of shoved him out.
That's what good trainers and seconds do. They get between the doctor and the fighter.
Yeah, and all he got for his efforts was a shoulder in his face.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to peer over it.
And here is Clay. He wants to, I don't know, quit, but he knows that only a crazy man is going to go out there blind to face Liston.
Imagine that, yeah.
And Dundee at the bell just puts a hand in his back and propels him to the middle. Go get him, champ. Shoves him right out into the ring.
An incredible moment. We're going to watch it right now. Again, when you think about going out there with the way his eyes were burning at the time, and to go out against a guy who was a straight killer in the ring, and yet Cassius Clay would handle himself quite well. Let's take a look at round number 5.
Getting ready for number 5.
Something wrong with Clay now. Something wrong with Clay. Something wrong with Clay.
I see that, Joe. His eyes are bothering him. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know exactly what happened. They're yelling from Cassius Clay's corner. Something got in his right eye. However, he's blinking badly. Sonny's going to try to pull it on. Still having some problems with his eyes. He's blinking and he's bouncing away continually. Liston still aiming toward the body with the big punches. minute 30 seconds to go in the fifth. Sonny fired his best left hook so far. One minute to go, number 5. Four seconds remaining in the fifth. Only 10 seconds remaining as Sonny's still moving in. Cassius still bouncing punches away, blocking them. In round 6, we note that Sonny flat-footed stance most of the time. Easy target. Easy. Clay with a variety of punches. We call them combinations. Putting punches together. That's his strong point. We're in the middle of round number 6. Cassius Clay still with the faster hands and the better legs, or at least the faster legs. I'll correct myself on that one. Sonny does have sturdy legs. With slightly less than a minute more in the 6th round, the champion has slowed down a bit. The tempo has slowed in the fight. Only 30 seconds to go in the 6th round. Sonny can't seem to slip or knock down that jab effectively. Cassius throws it from all angles. Very tricky left lead, left jab. Seconds remaining in the 6th.
Welcome back to the world-famous Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn. I'm Brian Kenny, and this is ringside Muhammad Ali. Miami hosted the first Cassius Clay Sonny Liston fight. The date was February 25th, 1964. And while Beatlemania was taking the country by storm, the Fab Four found out that sparring with the greatest was no day at the beach. Here's journalist Robert Lipsyte.
I was locked into a dressing room with the Beatles. The 5 of us were in this dressing room waiting for Muhammad Ali, and they were angry. They had come to do a publicity shot. He was late. They looked at their watches. They were trying to get out. Suddenly, 10 or 15 minutes later, the door bursts open, and there is this huge guy. That's the first thing that you realize about Muhammad Ali, how big he was. And he this great aura, and he's like, gathers up all the Beatles in his arms, because they're fuzzy little guys. And he says, okay, Beatles, stick with me and you'll make some money. You know? And the next thing, they're in the ring, and there's these wonderful footage, pictures of him pretending to hit the first Beatle, and they all go down like dominoes. You know? And everybody always thought, boy, they must have practiced that for hours. Well, these natural performers, they just did it. And it was just a magic moment. The Beatles, Cassius Clay, this new era in America. And then afterwards, as they're leaving, he turned to me and he said, who were those little faggots? He didn't know.
This is Ringside on ESPN Classic. I'm Brian Kenny, Burt Randolph, Sugar, Jerry Eisenberg with me. We return right now to Clay Liston fight from Miami, a landmark moment in sports history. The unthinkable happens as Liston quits between rounds. The world would never be quite the same again.
Looking in toward the champion's corner, he's still standing up. They're going to make him sit down. What do you think is going on in Sonny's mind at this point?
Well, I think Sonny now is beginning to worry now. At least his corners begin to worry now, because I think that they feel now that Clay have all the confidence he needs and go home to defeat Sonny. So I think that the corner now begin to worry a little bit now.
Now they're working, as we note, with our camera shots in there, below the left eye. They've already worked below the right eye. There you see them. Joe Polino trying to keep that cut closed. Do you feel as though Sonny being busted up a little bit, puffed up a little bit around the face, will this make a difference in Liston's thinking?
Well, they have to make a difference, because Liston now, I think he don't see too well out both his eyes now, because they're pretty well puffed out. And I think Clay got all the confidence he needs now, so I think that he changed him going winning now.
They might be stopping it. That might be all, ladies and gentlemen. Get up there, Joe. Get up there. Get up in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, up here in the ring corner with Joe Lewis. We're going to call the referee over. Barney Felix. Joe, what did it to Sonny Liston? What happened?
Well, I just want to talk to Sonny, and Sonny said that he left shoulder.
Do us a favor now. You're our ace reporter. Get over and see if we can't get Sonny over here. Get him over if you can, Jeff.
I just talked to Sonny. He said that the doctor won't let him come over.
Well, try to get him. Try to get him if you can. Meanwhile, Barney Felix, the referee. Barney, you stopped the fight at the end of 6. Is that recorded as a 7th round knockout?
It is a 7th round knockout.
It's recorded as a 7th round knockout. And thank you, Barney. You did a good job. All right, Howard.
Hey,
Joe. What did he say? Wait a minute, Barney.
See if he cannot come. The doctor will let him
cannot come. Okay. Okay, get Cassius Clay. Wait. Whoa. Hold it. He's yelling behind us. Cassius Clay, wait a minute. Come here. Come here, champ.
I'm the greatest thing that ever lived.
Now, wait a minute.
I don't have.
Now, hold it. Move over, Joe. Get
I don't have a mark on my face.
Hold it. Bedlam breaking out. Bedlam busting out
So
here.
great, I don't have a mark on my face.
Yeah.
And I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, can't nobody be against me.
Sonny,
I shook up the world. I know God. I know the real God.
Cassius, wait a minute, Cassius. Let me ask you this now. You told me when you visited in Los Angeles you could do it in 8. Well, you thought Sonny and figured Sonny was great. How come you did it in 6 or 7? You did it in 7.
I had him going in 8. I was getting ready to take him in the 8th, as you can see. But the man stopped it just to keep from making me look so great.
I see. Now, give us that poetry on number 7.
He wanted to go to heaven, so I took him in 7.
You took him in 7.
I am the king of the world.
Hold it, hold it,
I'm
hold it.
pretty.
Hold it, you're not that pretty.
I'm a bad man.
Wait,